Hi, this is Carrie Margaret with Create Love. And I've been thinking about and feeling how it is okay to lose control. We're taught that we need to micromanage and be in control of all different areas of our life. And if we have a certain amount of control, especially for those of us who have perfectionist tendencies, if we have a certain amount of control over all different areas of our life and kind of micromanage them, then we're going to get this particular outcome that we want. It is the control. It is being able to juggle all of the balls, or have all of these spinning plates all around us, that brings the future vision of what we want, whether that is in any area, if it's in career or relationships or adventures or dreams or everything. It is the ability to juggle. And I was able to be part of a community grieving experience over the weekend, where we were pulled some different rituals and grieving skills from different cultures, and there was drumming and this beautiful, gorgeous, sacred space, and this idea that, like, in grief and in letting go, the idea of being held and completely losing control, just losing control, just letting whatever happens happen, was beyond anything that I could put into words. It was such an amazing and sacred space. And I came out of the experience feeling integrated and raw and real and accepting of all the different pieces within me. Whatever, in the step that I am right now, of just the different sides of the sadness, of the heaviness, of the longing, of the desire, of the suffering, of all of these things, and the joy and the peace and the bliss and all of these things. And I've long known that grief and love are so intertwined. On one hand, one side of the hand is love and the other side of the hand is grief. And being able to be present to a process of just losing control and releasing in ritual and in group and community in a sacred space was beyond anything that I had experienced before. It wasn't like a memorial. It wasn't like a funeral. It was a completely different experience. And I have been reading this book, The Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control. It has so much incredible richness in it. And I think that one of the things that at least pushed me towards perfectionism is this idea that if I could, let's get an idea of what perfectionism can look like. I'll take this right from the book. Raw manifestations of perfectionism encountered. Emotional perfectionism. I want to experience the perfect emotional state. I want to experience the perfect emotional state. Cognitive perfectionism. I want to understand perfectly. Behavioral perfectionism. I want to behave perfectly in my roles and perform perfectly in my tasks. Object perfectionism. I want this external thing. Art, the surface of my desk, my face, the movie I'm directing, the presentation deck, the about page on my website, my child's hair, to exist in a perfect state. process perfectionism. I want this process, an airline flight, sobriety, going to church, giving a presentation, a marriage, to begin, continue, and end perfectly. Wow, there's one way that I could define myself pre-middle journey would be that. Oh my gosh. And Create Love, the title Create Love for the YouTube channel and podcast came out of a vision that I had through some shamanic drumming. I have a very, very close healing friend who guided me through a journey, a shamanic drumming journey, and I saw the flames of create and love together. And that's where the YouTube channel and podcast came from. And this idea was, well, I can learn all of the magic and the mystery behind creating love, not just in romantic relationships, in all relationships, and then how creativity and love are intertwined with life. I mean, this like huge, big thing. And so much of what I've been seeking is perfection. Myself, in relationships, in emotional states, understanding it all. And the beautiful thing about being able to dance with something like grief is that grief is the storm that comes and just whips all of the perfectionism, like all of that control, all of that sense of like fear and need for things to be in a certain way. If things are in a certain way, then I will feel okay and I will feel safe. And there are no safe places. There are just brave spaces to be in all of life. And one of the beautiful things, another quote from another part from the book, is if we can move out of this sense of like fixing, completing, making this okay so it's less scary, and that piece of perfectionism into our wholeness, then we can use this idea of perfectionism, this idea of huge ideals, high standards, to create something really magical and beautiful. And let me read this part here. If you can be in this space where the past is over, it may as well have been 8,000 years ago, and the future is not something you can control. And choose presence. You're already whole and perfect. You don't need to become something you already are. You're worthy of peace now. You're worthy even as you sleep. Your potential is endless. It's calling you. And wouldn't it be exhilarating to answer the call? I think what grief does, I think what this sense of being able to completely lose control and move from the fear of control and the stuffing and the pushing and the trying then to externalize and create this perfect vision of something, is that we can really be open to the endless possibilities and potential. And the amazing thing that it is to have high ideals and standards, and the creative possibility that we have when we're driven to like create and make amazing things out in the world. Another piece that I want to say in this video today that feels so important to share is there's a section where the author says, literally within 7 or 8 minutes, any single person can take a level of like overthinking and rumination and go from like an ideal state into the worst depths of despair. Anybody can do that within a moment within their mind, right? So can we just hold ourselves in the humanness of, if that does happen, if all of a sudden we are in a negative thought spiral, if something happens and it's scary and we feel like we're losing control, even of like this mind, we can just let go and realize that it too is something that is part of humanity, and just let it go. Just let it go and step into a new possibility. Realize that moment of whatever that was doesn't make us less whole and complete. And let it be, and then step into a new possibility of what we want to create. I know that I want to create lots of sacred spaces. I just want to be in sacred spaces right now. I want to create a sacred space here. I want to share tools and how to be in touch with ourselves and accept all of the raw and true sides and come in contact with our creativity. I mean, as I went through and I grieved over the weekend and I came out on the other side, I just felt like I wanted to make love, whether that was, making love or just make love out in the world. Create love. Create messy and bad art until it becomes better art. Self-express. There really doesn't seem much else, like there is much else to do beyond making love, creating art, self-expressing, being ourselves. When we move through all of the rawness and just really let go of control and step into the peace of what this all is. Sending you all so much love. This is Carrie Margaret from Create Love. Please subscribe if you like it.